Yeah, so what do you say we get into it?
Let's do it.
This Jack Daniels thing isn't going to review itself.
It's not going to drink itself either.
Do it! Welcome, dear listeners, to the Savor the Burn podcast. I'm your host, Jonathan. Across the table from me is your other host, Mr. W2.
Hello.
It's good to be here, no matter what time of day it is, wherever it is that you're listening to us. Feel free to give us a like, a comment, a subscribe, a follow, wherever you are listening to us. We appreciate it, and in whatever podcast app of choice you got, including YouTube. We appreciate the subscribe there, where you could be in the running to win another one of our many ideas of giveaways that we're always trying to come up with. Who knows? Maybe next time it could be these Glencairn glasses that sound like bells. to some of you folks. But tonight we've got something that, on my end, on my side of the table here, I honestly never really would have considered, because when you start drinking whiskey, you usually start with Jim Beam or you usually start with Jack Daniels. Mm-hmm. And this is one of those. This is Jack Daniels. But it's not just your standard black label Jack Daniels.
This is definitely not a standard Jack Daniels.
This is something more. And from the reviews that I keep getting in the Whiskey Guild and Whiskey Tribe Facebook groups, this one is better than the other ones that I had in the picture. And the other ones I had in the picture, just so everybody is following along here, remembers, was the Stag Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey and the Booker's Bourbon.
Yep. Booker's Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey.
Booker's Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. So we had one from Jim Beam. Mm-hmm. We had one from Buffalo Trace, and now we got one from Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
But tonight, this episode you're going to hear is Jack Daniels.
Yeah, and Jack Daniels
it's not the OG. It's not the original black label.
Jack Daniels is Tennessee whiskey.
The others were Kentucky. This is Tennessee.
This is their single barrel proof offering. There is no age statement on this. However, it is 133.3 proof. This is the hottest thing we have tried on this podcast.
This is the hottest thing we've tried as far as proof goes?
Yep.
Huh. Well, getting into the description of the bottle, I mean, not to blow over the fact that this is the hottest proof that we're about to try on the podcast, but I mean, you look at this bottle. This is a beautiful bottle, and this is just the what did you say, 375? Yeah, 375.
Yep.
And apparently the 750 is pretty much the same thing, just taller.
Yep.
This is a beautiful bottle. It's fairly square body, slightly tapered from top to bottom. On the neck, it's got the classic barrel
kind of barrel
neck ring
ribs
on the neck.
Ribbed for his or her pleasure.
Take your shot. There goes the family. There goes the family friendly. Oh, shit. And on top of that, it's got a little bit of a collar to it.
Dear listener.
Whew, these motherfuckers are drunk. But, yeah, it's got a cool collar. It's got a wooden stopper with a natural cork.
The stopper is pretty impressive. We haven't even opened it yet, but it's very impressive because the actual piece that you grab a hold of to pop out of the top of the barrel is pretty substantial.
Mm-hmm. It's got a lot of heft to it.
Yeah, and the kind of the reverse bevel on the bottom side of things, I feel is going to make it easier to pop the top and get this thing going.
How hard is it to pop the cork on a bottle? Really?
I mean, it's really not.
You know what? I take that back. When we were in Pigeon Forge, we stopped by Junction 35 Spirits, and you can't get it locally here. It's a Pigeon Forge kind of exclusive thing because they don't have distribution rights yet. But we got one of their, what was it, banana cream whiskey, I think, just one of their gimmick, one of their flavored whiskeys. And Jennifer tried to pop the cork on it, because we only got it because she wanted it. So we tried to pop the cork on it, and the stopper came off the cork.
So my bottle of Dancing Goat
Yeah.
that I got from Mitch for my birthday, same thing happened. The actual top of it popped off. You can see the little ridges in the cork that's still down there.
And some of the glue left over.
I've pushed it back down there, but I've left it only half down, so that I can pull it back out. Oh, because of that.
So you got the cork out? You did get the cork out?
I did get the cork out. Yep.
Well, we ended up using a wine cork puller, and that worked fine. But I was still kind of upset. I thought about getting in the like, we have a jar with all of our old corks in it, but I don't think I have anything with a stopper on it.
Gotcha.
But unless it's the I have an empty bottle of Basil Hayden that actually, now that I think about it, would probably work just fine in its place. But the reason I kept the Basil Hayden bottle is because of that metal band around it. I'd like to attach that to a leather band.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Make it a wristband or something. I think that'd be pretty cool. Anyway, back to the task at hand. Thank you, dear listener, for listening on your podcast app of choice. If I haven't already said it, there you go. There it is again. Thanks for following on all our socials. And we're going to have W2 explain to us a little bit more about what's going on here in the bottle. What can you tell us about... Do you have any history of Jack Daniels, something that maybe we don't necessarily know about?
Jack Daniels has been around for a long time.
Oh, forever and a day.
I don't know the specifics on that, but what I do know is this specific single barrel proof offering, this is the first time that they have offered a single barrel proof. That was released for the first time in 2015.
Okay.
This is their only barrel proof single barrel offering out of their entire line of products. And off the top of my head, I don't have the notes in front of me to reference. I don't know what their standard proof is, but this is a 133.3 proof Tennessee whiskey.
It says here in your notes, it is whiskey as nature intended it. Bottled straight from the barrel. If I could read. Bottled straight from the barrel at its full proof. Intense, smooth, and remarkably varied. Barrel proof is bottled at anywhere from 125 to 140 proof, taking Jack's trademark vanilla and toasted oak flavors to bold new levels. Yeah,
and this site that I've got pulled open here says that it is thought to be anywhere from 4 to 7 year old age. Even though there is no age statement on it, it is thought to be 4 to 7 year.
Okay, that's not too bad. I would guess the regular black label somewhere between 2 and 3, maybe 4, but probably 2 and 3.
Even with that, though, I mean, 4 year, 7 year,
great color to it.
That's a serious color.
Yeah, that's another one of those deep ambers.
Yep.
Or what was which one did we do that they called molasses? Was it the stag?
That was the stag.
Yeah, I'd put that right there with the stag as far as color goes.
So I'm looking at this has a band on the neck that right in the front says barrel proof, and then you tilt it to the side and bottled on 4/11/22.
Okay.
And then the other side says Barrel House 202. It's got a signature from the master distiller. And then it actually has the barrel number 2203837.
Well, we're not going to have close-up pictures of this bottle, but we will have pictures of the bottle up on our socials.
Yeah.
So when you hear this, check out our Instagram. It'll probably be up there.
It's an amazing bottle. I mean, it's that class. it's not the standard Jack Daniel's bottle. It's definitely elevated way above that. But like you already said, it's got the ribbed barrel kind of design on the neck of it. It's got a little bit of a neck label on there. And what I think is super cool is you turn it over on the bottom, and there's a barrel embossed on the bottom that says JD on the bottom of it. And then right there in the front of it, with a handwritten signature, is the Jack Daniel's.
Yeah, right there embossed in glass.
Embossed right in the glass right there. And like we said, the wood topper on there is a pretty substantial piece of wood. And then in gold printing on top of that, it says hand selected, single barrel, and then JD with a little barrel icon on the front of it.
What do you say we get some in our Glencairn whiskey glasses that we have up in our savortheburn.com/shop?
And confirmed,
Natural cork.
That is a serious stopper.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I love that stopper. That's actually, in my opinion, this is probably one of the best stoppers I've actually seen.
It's like the heftiest motherfucker.
Yeah. So,
Thank you.
I mean, that color in the glass.
It's
man.
beautiful. It's beautiful. Hearing that squeak reminded me of why I'm not a huge fan of sex in the pool. You get it. Yeah, you know, dear listener, if you've ever done it in any water, you know how squeaky it can be. So it's beautiful. We got some little legs going on the side of the glass. I have yet to see a bourbon that we've tried here, even the worst one, that Navigator. Mm-hmm. Even the Navigator had, some.
Yep. But
none of them have had none. What are you getting on the nose? Anything? Oof. I said oof like it's a bad. It's just I picked up a little hint of that sour mash. Mm-hmm. I guess I wasn't expecting sour mash, but that's Jack Daniel's all day.
There's definitely a sour mash on the nose. Tasting notes say copper/deep amber.
Yeah, deep amber. Color. That's color. Color notes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's got great color.
I was gonna say I don't get copper on the nose.
On the nose,
I'm getting oakiness, maybe a light caramel vanilla.
A little bit of toffee caramel.
Maybe. Something there.
Definitely some heat.
Yeah, the heat takes over the nose. Like
that ethanol.
You can sniff in through your nose with your mouth open,
mm-hmm.
and it cuts the burn out of your nose. But
is there some banana on the nose?
If my brain reverse engineers it, so yeah. Definitely.
Maybe some corn?
Maybe a light citrus and corn. Yeah, I'd throw corn in there. Yeah, corn. the fruit/vegetable, not the band. Yeah, what was the Facebook group I was in that I was arguing with the guy of what corn was and what it wasn't? You remember that?
I do remember that.
Man, that guy was like, it's not and I'm like, well, technically. Use the power of Google. You'll find out just how confusing corn can be. But as a gardener, I know it's a little more complex than just a straight old run of the mill vegetable. And then you, at the end of it, you're like, it's none of that. It's whiskey. Drink it.
Am I wrong?
You were. I mean, when it gets down to this, the spirit on hand, you're not wrong at all.
Shut up and drink.
Yeah, it's whiskey. Shut up and drink it. Yeah, this smells good. I think we called it on some of the stuff. Look at at the top of the.
Yep, I've got some too.
That band. You see how thick that is?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm ready for mouth. Let's see how it tastes. Oh shit. Holy hot damn.
I thought I saw you pull the comb out to try to brush your tongue off there for a second.
No, it's just...
Woo!
Whew. I didn't know I was going to fucking...
That's not playing around.
I wasn't trying to tongue punch the devil's fart box. But wow, my whole tongue was on fire. Holy shit.
I need a pause. You know I'm a visual person.
Right.
That just wow. Okay, I'm good.
In my mind, it's a devil chick, red skin, forked tail, or the spade tail, legs for days, fishnets, black hair, horns. Maybe a tattoo on her arm that says "Mom" with a heart with a fucking arrow going through it. You know, pinup style devil chick.
Right.
60s shit. Yeah. Well, that was weird. After I got my first pull, I brought it up to the nose, and I swear I smelled something like laundry detergent. Maybe that's my nose just giving up. My nose said, fuck it. You have abused me enough for one night.
Man, that's hot.
It's hot, but you can pull some flavors off of it.
No, there's maple in there. There's
oak, and there's maple.
There's a lot of oak. Some char from the barrels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the charcoaly char. There's some apple.
Mm-hmm. I'm still getting bananas.
Yeah, bananas. They're still there. Bananas. Bananas. Yeah, it's not as complex as other barrel proof whiskeys that we've tried. Whiskey. But this is definitely good. So we've talked about Jack Daniels in our history with him. Like me, pretty much. I mean, starting off my whiskey journey in early teens with Jack Daniels, I would say, and Crown Royal. More Crown Royal than Jack Daniels, but it was either one or the other. Because I wouldn't fucking touch Canadian Mist. My dad used to drink Canadian Mist. He'd drink the bottle and then he'd hide it under the couch because he's an alcoholic. Try to hide it. Then I'd find the bottles and smell it and be like, this smells like shit. And so it'd be like that or Southern Comfort. But I guess when he was feeling fancy, I don't know. I never talked to him about it. But like there'd be Jack Daniels here and there. So the Jack Daniels, I didn't mind so much. It tasted or smelled and tasted way better than the other stuff. So yeah. I very well could have grown up to be an alcoholic myself. Thank goodness I didn't. So a lot of us, including I'm sure our fan base here, our listenership, started off with Jack Daniels as being one of the first few that they tried. And since it was one of the first few that they tried, that we tried, it was just kind of the staple. It was the old hat. It was at every party you went to. It was at every fucking crack house you visited with your dad. It was... it was every shade tree mechanic that needed help getting their torque converter hooked up to their flywheel and they couldn't figure it out because they didn't seat it properly within the transmission. Everybody had Jack Daniels. So that said, you didn't really think about there being better tasting whiskey out there because we just figured it all tasted like this. Why even bother making other whiskeys? But come to find out they did, and thanks this podcast, I'm finding just how wide that world is and how scary it is. There's so many. But we've all got our favorite, air quote, favorite Jack Daniels stories. And mine wasn't so much the switching, the realization that, well, if Lemmy drinks Jack and Coke, I can drink Jack and Coke. I don't have to drink it straight to be a man. Lemmy is all that is man, if not God. So we and some would argue that he is God still, reigning above, with that gravelly voice. Some say he got his power from his moles too. We don't know. We don't question it. We just know in that throne room they both sing holy, holy, holy. Lemmy.
You don't question Lemmy.
No, you don't. You just don't.
Which is why I thoroughly enjoyed experiencing that Jack and Coke.
Jack and Coke maybe not brought to us by Lemmy, but I mean somebody had to come up with it, and if that somebody is not named, I'll give credit to Lemmy. Fuck it. But so one of my probably air quote favorite memories with Jack Daniels was I had a friend of mine over, Michael Keaton. I talked about him before, not Michael Keaton the actor.
Not Batman?
Not Batman, even though his nickname for us in the Friends group and in the local music scene was Batman, because his name is Michael Keaton. He was my bass player for a few different bands, and he's the one that got me into music as far as this side of the speaker. And so one day he's over at my house, and I'm like, "Hey, dude, you hungry?" He's like, "I could eat." I'm like, "All right, cool. I got pancakes. You like pancakes? I love pancakes. I'm gonna make some pancakes." So I had the fifth of Jack, and I'm fucking sipping on it, and I'm trying to cook pancakes, but I'm burning all the fucking pancakes, and I can't figure out why. It's probably, in retrospect, because I was drunk as shit, and I'm like, I've never fucking burnt pancakes before. I don't know what's going on. But that's exactly why. That's what happened. I was stupid, fucking drunk, trying to make pancakes. It sucked. But so soon after that, I gave up on Jack Daniels, because I realized that there not only were there other bourbons out there were much better bourbons out there, and damn near every single one of them was better. And then
except for that Compass. Or not Compass.
That fucking Navigator. And even then, I still want to throw in that addendum to that Navigator. Like, that was a whiskey made by wine people. Like, that was their attempt at making a whiskey. Bless their hearts, they didn't know any better. Bless them, Father, for they do not know. But they it was not good.
Not to get off tangent.
Too late. Chandler will not forgive him.
How many Angel's Envy and countless others are finished in port cask and Cabernet cask? There are a lot of examples out there where a wine cask finish is amazing. The Navigator it missed the mark for us. It probably hit the mark for someone. It missed the mark for us. And I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. So if you're
lipstick on a pig.
So if you're wondering what it is that we're talking about, just go back to episode 26, part 1 and part 2. Is this wine trying to be a whiskey, or whiskey trying to be a wine? And part 2, lipstick on a pig, or navigating the right cocktail. We had a lot to say about a whiskey that we had tried that was it wasn't right. So we said so much about it then. We've said so much about it since then. I think we're done talking about it, at least for now. So, what was your favorite? Do you have a rocktail that involves Jack Daniels? Motorhead. Have you seen Motorhead live?
Sadly, I never got to see Motorhead.
I never
live.
did either. It's like they came to Twisted. No, it was a 98.9 production. I don't think it was Twisted Christmas. It was.
I was there.
You were there with Motorhead?
I was drunk off my ass, but yes, I was there.
So jealous.
Yes.
So jealous.
What year was that?
Maybe 2008. But I don't know.
Yeah. I was there. That was that Midland?
I don't know. I didn't make it. I didn't go.
Yeah.
I think I was going through a horrific divorce at the time.
Girl, say.
Only you made it to the fucking show. And I wasn't friends with half the staff at 98.9 The Rock yet, but
my Jack Rocktail has to pull in a story about my buddy Eric.
All right.
We need to have. You know what? We need to have an episode. Have Mitch back over. Have my buddy Eric over, and my buddy Dave over.
All right. It's going to be a full panel.
I think you've met all of those.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my boys. Those are my long term
ride or die
knucklehead
dirtbags.
Ride or die.
Uh-huh.
Yep. I've got ample Sturgis stories about all those motherfuckers. This story, though, is going to be specifically about Eric. Eric is a big Jack and Coke fan. Maybe we bring this one back. and we make that part of that one. But I think that would be a very fun episode. But he is very, very, very passionate about his Jack. He's a fan of Gentleman's Jack. He's a fan of straight up number 7. My former band, 1 Degree Difference, was playing, I think it was Riot Room. I don't think it was still Hurricane, although 1 Degree Difference did play the Hurricane.
Mm-hmm.
I think it had become the Riot Room. But anyway, we were playing a show there, and he was there, and he was very adamant that he could drink anyone under the table when it came to Jack and Coke. And he could drink as much Jack and Coke as he wanted, and he'd be fine. This particular show, they had, not every show, but a lot of the shows, they had the high top tables.
Yeah.
Kind of set up, all over, not up against the stage, but just right there in that upper area. And we had a table sitting up there, and he was sitting there, and he was just drinking Jack and Coke, Jack and Coke, Jack and Coke. And at some point, he kind of just put elbows to the table and head in hand, and his eyes started to droop. And he started to fade a little bit, and our singer, Steve, thought it would be hilarious to draw a 1 Degree Difference logo on the back of his neck with a Sharpie.
Okay.
He was numb enough and sliding into a comatose state enough that he got most of the 1 Degree Difference logo drawn on the back of his neck with his Sharpie. And he kind of sat up at one point and was kind of looking around, and he played it off and nodded back off, and he kind of just kept right on drawing. And about this time, the door guy kind of wandered over and was like, hey, if he's passing out, if he's falling asleep,
he's got to go.
He's got to go. We can't have that. And so he finished up drawing, and we're like, Eric, we're trying to wake him up. And about that time, he caught wind of something was going on the back of his neck, and he's like, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? And we're like, we didn't do anything. Nothing to see here.
We're trying to put ice on your neck. I don't know.
He took off running toward the bathroom to take a look at his neck, and I grabbed my camera and was kind of just trying to chase him down, and I got just shy of the door when I realized I probably should not follow him into the bathroom with a camera. Mm-hmm. So I kind of stopped, but apparently he hit the door of the bathroom, and he realized he was way drunker than he thought. And if you remember the bathrooms of the Riot Room.
Yeah, it's all kind of one open room. There's no
stall. Doors.
There's a
no
toilet,
stalls.
but there's no stall door.
Yep. Yeah, he let loose and just like sprayed the trough.
So bad.
He came back to the table awake and feeling much better.
I bet. You always feel better right after you yak or hork.
But yeah, he had a awesome 1 Degree Difference ODD logo on the back of his neck, and it was a good time. It's a good time. Eric's a good brother. He missed my birthday. Damn you! But he was. I think he was sick, and so he stayed home instead of bringing his infection to everyone else. So I appreciate that. But yeah, we should have them on. The collective stories we could tell would make for a good episode.
That'd be good. Man,
there's a lot to this.
The bite on that 133 proof, like, slows me down as far as what
it's
I'm
no
picking
joke.
up on the flavor. I'm gonna have to add a little bit of drops here from the pipette.
Oh, that's actually a really good idea.
Think of what, 3? There's 3.
I feel like we don't use this thing nearly as enough as we should.
I don't know if we do or don't, but I know that we don't use it every time. Like, we hardly ever use it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I really don't know. Like, should we use it every time? And then, see how it changes it? How many drops did you put in?
2.
Oh, you're less. Okay. So, yeah. I got probably twice as much left for...
I feel like that turned the heat up.
Really?
Yeah.
I almost took a sip until you said that.
Forewarned.
So it went from 133 to 150?
Maybe.
Oh, no.
142. Fuck around and find out. Am I imagining it, or did the drops of water open up the heat?
It went down the wrong tube.
Man.
Hell, you got some notes over here. The tasting notes, according to the interwebs, and I would have agree with the on the nose, a wallop of sweetness.
100.
It says big notes of maple syrup. I'm not sure I picked up on that. Toffee bark and a touch of ethanol heat lead off before moving into banana Laffy Taffy. Okay, you called banana. And yellow runts. Aren't yellow runts bananas? It's almost artificial how sweet the nose on this whiskey is. I'm not sure you're supposed to end a sentence with the word is. That's a preposition. It's a whole sentence. Grammar Nazi thing. The wood only begins to creep in as it settles in the glass. Then more yellow corn, you called corn, frosted vanilla cake, I don't think either one of us even thought about vanilla cake, and strong grain character come to the forefront. So I might agree with a bit of a strong grain, a bit of corn. Wait, that's just the nose. The flavor on the palate says maple sugars and strong sweet notes with more wood character with barrel char. On the second wave, here come the strong vanillas. Caramel, toasted creme brulee with candied banana topping. This feels like a dessert covered in sticky maple syrup. You know what? I would almost agree with everything that they said on the internet's flavor tasting notes here. The problem is getting past that 133 proof.
Mexican hot chocolate. I did not get any of that.
I didn't either.
On the finish?
Oh, finish. Long, robust finish with vanilla sweetness.
Yeah, you haven't gotten there. Sorry.
Not yet. It's fine. You were reading ahead. I do that too. Long, on your internet tasting notes here, it says on the finish, long, robust finish with the vanilla sweetness. I would agree.
Yep.
Continuing with a bit more wood spice. I would agree. And maple wood sugars. I might agree with that too.
Yep.
The finish lingers and reminds me, whoever me is, of Mexican hot chocolate mixed. What? Mexican hot chocolate mixed laced with a touch of maple syrup.
I don't get that.
Maybe it's mix. Mexican hot chocolate mix laced with a touch of maple syrup. I've never thought about putting maple syrup on my hot chocolate. Unfortunately, 133 proof Jack Daniel's single barrel proof might make me forget all about it. But I've got some maple syrups in my cabinet along with all my honeys.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not my honeys.
The fires of hell from that 133.3
tongue punch from the devil's fart box.
Tongue punch the devil's fart box. One more time.
It's kind of like SpongeBob's laugh. Only
It really doesn't give you the wiggle room to find the hot chocolate.
I don't pick up hot chocolate on anything here.
Man, this is hot.
So hot. Hot damn.
You know, and that's the crazy thing. This is 133.3 proof. The Stag was 130.2. We're literally talking about 3.1 proof.
Yeah. The
Stag, it was nice and warm and had a little bit of heat to it. I don't feel like it's anything like this.
And the Booker's was 125.5?
125.5.
So, yeah. That's something. So this is
And
almost, 10 points more proof. But wow.
7.
This little bottle can kick both our asses in one pour. Jack Daniels has...
I mean, we're no punks. We finished it.
Yeah, right. We finished our pour. I guess I got a couple drops left, but... Yeah.
Man.
We did what we came here to do. Our mamas didn't raise no punk.
Listeners,
My mama raised...
what else is out there that's stronger than 133.3 proof?
Man, I got some moonshine back at the house.
I was getting ready to say, aside from straight moonshine,
Right.
that blue
Okay.
lightning.
Yeah, this is just straight white lightning. It's that stuff I probably talked about it before my buddy Moose gave it to me. Like in a little pint jar. I've taken a sip off of it from time to time. This shit, so fucking hot. You think your mouth is actually on fire. It's like, whew. You've been there.
Oh, yeah.
You've had those before. He said it was like, I think he said it was like 212 proof or something. Fuck. It's hot. My band Into Existence, my guitar player Steven, he does, he'll make moonshine with a friend of his. And they'll make the flavored moonshine. So he's got peach. He brought some kind of peach moonshine to band practice one time, and you're thinking moonshine.
Peach
it's gonna be corn.
Why
If
is
it's
it always peach?
I don't know, man. I love peach as much as the next guy. No, horny puns intended. Like I do love the fruit peach.
Mm-hmm.
I really do, and I'll eat it fucking all day, every day, especially when it's in season. That said, so he had some peach shine that him and his buddy made. He brought it in. He said, but they proofed it down to where they could give it away to all, because they can't sell it. They can't sell it, so that they had to give it away to their friends and family. But it didn't really taste like anything special. The shine, the white shine that I got from Moose, the thing that made it so special was it was the hottest fucking thing I had ever had in my life, ever. It was so fucking hot, like ethanol wise. Like you could put it in your car and your car would say, "This is too fucking hot. You need to tone it down." What was the band that you were talking about?
So
you were in other bands in between 1 Degree Difference and Burn the Gates?
I was several.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
But this was one of them.
This is one of them. So in between there, I had a band called The Untorn.
Okay.
We practiced in Buckner,
Okay.
if you know where that's at.
Yep.
That was during the time. Buckner's a very small little town.
Yeah. Compared to Lenexa, it's BFE.
But north of Grain Valley kind of area, very small town. We used to every week at practice. It was a weekly contest to see who could bring the cheapest tequila.
Okay. You did this with another band.
No, this was the band.
This was the... Okay.
Yeah. No one could beat... The house we practiced at was our guitar player Derek's. He rented it. He had a roommate that was there. But the Dollar General store right around the corner that sold alcohol, they had a $6, $7 bottle of tequila.
I didn't know that store sold alcohol. Maybe it's location specific. Yep. Maybe it was a different time.
I don't think it was maybe it wasn't a Dollar General,
okay.
but it was that kind of a store.
Okay.
But they had like a $6, $7 bottle of tequila that he would get. Anyway, down in the practice space, either his parents or his roommate's parents had an old 1950 something ski boat that was not a ski boat anymore. So they cut it in half, took the back end of the boat, turned it upside down. We built some shelves in there for alcohol bottles. Where the front windshield of the ski boat was.
Yeah.
Took that off, inverted it, mounted it up to the ceiling rafters as kind of a thing, and then the bow of the ski boat, turned it straight up, and then put a plexiglass top on the top of it to make like an L-shaped bar with the ski boat as kind of the bottom piece of it. Again, like we did with the back side of it, behind it, we built some shelves down there, so you had some shelves behind the bar. The best part was the ski boat throttle wired up to the blender. So when it was time to mix a drink,
That's cool.
you had a ski boat to activate the blender. Anyway, all that to say, Derek's roommate was really, really into weightlifting and fitness or whatever. So they had the barbells and the bench press and all that down there. We were down at practice one day, and also because of the ski boat and the bar theme and all that, practice space was named Tipsy's.
Okay. Makes sense.
Always fully stocked with everything. One day after practice, it was time to enjoy some drinks. And our drummer, Stetson, got into the peach moonshine that they had. And he was chug-a-lugging that. And then he sat down for a little bit. But then all of a sudden, he just kind of stood up. And we saw him walking over to the bench press. And he's like, I can do this.
Oh, no.
I have no idea how much weight was on the bench press, but he decided, I'm going to bench press this. It was way more than any of us should have even attempted. But peach moonshine,
I guess.
he's like, let's do this. And so I'm sitting at the bar and I'm laughing at him. I'm like, whatever. And then he lifts it up and then immediately,
Oh, no.
and it just sticks right on his chest. And I'm sitting over at the bar laughing, and then I realize, oh shit. And so, and I'm half cocked too.
So you go running, but
So
you're sideways.
I'm like sideways running towards him, and I get over there to help him basically just lift it to the side. I'm not helping him. I'm not spotting him to lift it straight up to put it back on the wrist. I'm helping him just kind of tilt it to the side so he can get underneath. It's that damn peach moonshine, though.
It's the devil's whiskey. The peach moonshine.
And then you have bar owners that try to sell moonshine, but it's not. It's like apple juice or applesauce punch. Applesauce punch. Like, you remember, nothing against Kilroy.
All right.
All right. $2 moonshine shots at the bar. I can't do a Kilroy very well. He and I have the same birthday.
I did not know that.
Yeah, we do. But once again, my guitar player Stephen Bell, he does a perfect Jim Kilroy. And dear listener, if you don't know Jim Kilroy, man, you won't get the reference, but whatever, it's fine. So on my notes here, I wrote down, on the nose, we picked up banana, vanilla, and plenty of oak. The palate was overtaken by the ethanol, but the sweet vanilla and banana notes still shine through to the almost nutty, warm, spicy finish that was honestly more delightful than either one of us expected. Very unique. That's what I wrote down. Did you have any closing thoughts on this one, Mr. W2? We did. If you're going to pour that, make sure you take a picture of it, because we didn't get the picture, though.
I cannot agree with this being the star of our high octane adventure.
That reminds me, I got to go back to the...
Yes, please do.
Back to the things, but keep going.
I cannot agree with this being the star of the show. I thoroughly enjoyed the Stag and the Booker's way more than this. However, I did enjoy drinking this far more better than the Standard Jack or Gentleman's Jack.
Yeah, Gentleman's Jack's not something that we even got into tonight.
Right.
Gentleman Jack was something that surprised me as far as because I had I still do. I have a friend at work. His name's Gerald. For the first 6 months that he worked worked with me, I didn't know his name because I didn't care to learn it, which is really disrespectful on my part. But in my defense, we had been going through such a high employee turnover rate at the time that I just kind of quit bothering learning people's names, if that makes any sense. So I just called him New Kid. So at any given time, even like till today, like I think he started back in I want to say like 02, 03 maybe, and I still call him New Kid from time to time to this day. But anyway, so he's the one that would eventually turn me on to Gentleman Jack. He said he tried it one time and it was really good, and then his birthday came up, and I remembered that was one of the ones that he said that he liked. So I got him a bottle of it, and I tried it either there at work or at his house after work one day, and I was pleasantly surprised. But Gentleman Jack is supposed to be triple filtered through their charcoal. Is that what it is? Mm-hmm. Triple charcoal filtered, and that makes a world of difference. Like if the original Jack Daniels is too harsh, if the sour mash is just too fucking much, it's like ugh, gross. Like if you've gone way past your bourbon borderline when it comes to Jack Daniels and you've horked it up way too many times and you can't stand the thought of drinking another drop of Jack Daniels, maybe try the Gentleman Jack, because that stuff is it's way smoother. The flavor profile is not as wide. You don't pick up nearly as much as the sour mash, and you'll never pick up as many flavors in the Gentleman Jack as you do with this the single barrel proof. That said, it was actually what brought me back to the idea of trying Jack Daniel's products out and enjoying them. So I think I tried their gimmick whiskeys, their apple and their peach and their honey. Their honey's okay. Mm-hmm. Their peach is better than Crown Peach, and their apple isn't as good as Crown Apple. But that's as far as I think I was willing to go with that.
I think this, Booker's, and Stag, and definitely more than that, but that's definitely what's on the mind right now. These are great advocates for why a barrel strength, a cask strength, a barrel proof whiskey, the whiskey straight out of the barrel, uncut, unfiltered, the way the good Lord intended it to be consumed, is a superior product.
Yeah, right out of the barrel proof, no filter, no anything. It's just straight from the barrel to the bottle.
It's what it is.
Yeah, it's just like it says here in your notes, whiskey as nature intended it.
and that's straight from Jack Daniel's website.
Right. Oh, that's where all these notes came from? Okay.
That's where, this particular note came right from the Jack Daniel's website. Whiskey as nature intended it.
In my post that I made, trying Jack Daniel's single barrel proof tonight, any input, anybody got any ideas here? Pasco, I quoted him in a previous episode, but since this will be the kind of the wrap episode of tonight's, I'll go ahead and read everything he says, even though I don't agree with it now that I've had all of them. He says, I've always been a Stag fan and have a handful of bottles, but I picked up my first Jack single barrel proof a few weeks ago, and it is amazing. I almost think it might be better than Stag. I would agree. I'm not going to argue with him because everything that we do is personal experience, personal 100%. Preference.
Yep.
So I'm not going to take that away from him. I can't even argue with him because, I mean, why? Why argue?
Everyone's got a different palate.
I think Dale Carnegie said a mind changed against his will is of the same opinion still. So I'm not about to try to argue somebody into agreeing with me.
No.
It's not going to work. It's not going to work. And it's not even in me to do that kind of thing. Back on track on the the Kansas City Whiskey Guild post that I made. Same post, different group. Mark says, would not be surprised if Jack Daniels won in a blind tasting. Clint believes that the Jack is slept on hard. Adam says it's excellent. And Brad says that the Jack Daniels single barrel is the best.
You know, I do think blind tasting brings out something completely out of the norm.
Yeah.
The unexpected always happens in a blind taste. That said, I do like this, and I have enjoyed this, but I feel like Tennessee whiskey versus Kentucky bourbon, I feel like
that's an unfair comparison.
I could taste that every day.
For me, if it's whiskey versus bourbon, I'm going bourbon every time.
Yes.
If it's
no matter how hot it is.
right.
There is a sweetness that comes inherently with bourbon.
Yeah. Not everybody likes it.
Right.
That's all right. That's all right.
Yeah.
Nothing's for everybody.
That said, I think one of these times, I think before too long, I think a blind tasting would be fun.
I think it would be too. Now, if I do like a 80 proof black tooth whiskey, or 80 proof or 90, whatever proof the Lead Slingers was, versus this 133 proof. One, I'm gonna go from sipping to spit and fire. I'm gonna be like fucking shocked, and I might cuss at somebody. But I mean, given a heads up that these are the high proof, blinds. This is really, man, it's not bad. It's not bad.
It's not bad at all.
It's not great. It's on the upper side of good.
Mm-hmm. What'd you give it on the nose?
On the nose, I gave it a 3.5.
Man, we're locking in here, man.
You gave it a 3.5?
I gave it a 3.5.
All right. How about the palate?
I continued on at 3.5.
I gave it a 3.0.
Okay.
I gave it a 3.0. How about the finish?
It's better than average.
Mm-hmm.
On the finish, 3.25.
I gave it a 3.5.
Flip-flop a little bit.
Because I thought the finish was better than the palate. The palate, for me, was robbed by the high ethanol, by the proof. So
okay.
If you could take this and run it in a cocktail, I feel like this would be great in a Manhattan, or this might be great in a I don't know, maybe not so much in a
Boulevardier.
It'd be great in a Boulevardier, but I don't think it'd be a good candidate for an old fashioned. I just don't feel that. I might be proven wrong, and I'd be happy to be proven wrong. But
you know what this would be good in?
What's that?
That Revolver. A little bit of coffee liqueur, a little bit of orange bitter. Mic drop.
You might be right. I expect you to try that out. Maybe not.
I might have to.
Maybe not 2 ounces like what we do with some of the others, but like ounce and a half.
Ounce and 3/4.
Ounce and 3/4. Sure, if you want to be a lush, go for it. Let's see here. Bottle presentation. What do you give this bottle?
Oh, man.
I mean, how cool is that bottle? I think it's a cool fucking bottle. I gave it a 4.25.
It's a cool ass bottle, and it's a unlike anything else bottle.
Yeah. Well,
no one else. If this were completely, Jack Daniels only bottle.
If this were completely unlabeled, even with that shape, I'd say, man, that's got to be Jack Daniels.
That's Jack Daniels.
Look at that barrel neck.
I ended up giving 4.5.
You gave it a 4.5. We're not far from each other there either. How about your overall rating?
Came out to a 7 3/8, 7.375.
I gave it 7 1/8, 7.125.
I'll be damned. 125.
Yeah. How about that? You actually rated something higher than I did. That's probably because your palate is more used to shit like this fucking hot shit.
I don't know about that, but man.
Out of the 3, well, maybe 6 or 5 Jack Daniels products that I've had, I'll just take the gimmicks out and just call it 3. The between the
Standard.
original Jack Daniels, the Gentleman Jack,
And this.
Jack Daniels single barrel proof, I would say I like the Gentleman Jack as 1. Second would be this, the barrel proof, and third would have to be the original.
And I would say this is my number 1.
This would be your number 1.
Gentleman Jack 2, Standard 3.
I think I'm going, if it's going to be enjoyed straight, no pipette.
Yeah.
You know, you're still sticking with this as your first choice?
Yep.
Well, Grandma always said an Irishman's first choice is his best choice. I don't know how that works out for the Irish. I don't know.
I'm a Scotsman, so I'm not that far away.
Right. Really not too far away. Any final thoughts?
This was a great night.
It was a great night.
These high octane whiskeys are a whole new animal, but
They
so
for sure are.
enjoyable.
And we've both been looking forward to this night. It got pushed back, I think, a couple of times for a few different reasons. But I'm really glad we got a chance to make this fucking happen.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. So, dear listener, if you're looking for a really high proof, it's not even top shelf, but it's a much higher quality version of your standard Jack Daniels, look no further than this Jack Daniels single barrel proof. Mm-hmm. And I'd say don't be afraid to use this in a cocktail. Did we have an MSRP on this?
I did not pull that.
Remember off the top of your head how much this was?
The MSRP is much higher than what I got that for. I ended up getting that for like $23, $25.
Oh shit! At a clearance shelf at a thrift store.
Knowing the good people at Stanley Station.
Oh, okay.
I think the MSRP on it is like $60-65.
Okay, for the 375 bottle.
375 bottle.
Wow. Okay. All right. I mean, you get what you pay for.
Yep.
And this is by far better than 3 bottles of the
every day
of the original would ever be worth to me. So I would, I mean, if I'm going to go out and buy a Jack Daniels, if it's not Gentleman Jack, it'd be this for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're looking for a Jack Daniels that is better than the original Jack Daniels by at least 3 times, it has a much higher proof, so you can either take your chances drinking it straight like we did, or throw it in a cocktail, which we have yet to do, which I think there's 3 that it would work great for. Look no further, like I said, than the Jack Daniels single barrel proof. And as always, dear listener, no matter what you're doing, where you are, who you're drinking with, and what you're drinking, always remember,
keep on burning.